Hey everyone, it's Jen from Simple Local Life, and I'm back with my friend Adrien here at Wells Lake Farm Market. How are you today, Adrien?
Very good.
Good, good. So Thanksgiving is past, and now we're into, I guess, mid-October. Hard to believe, almost. But I know you guys had a busy Thanksgiving weekend.
We sure did.
Yeah, lots of people around. It was beautiful weather for the most part, and it was really
Beautiful
lovely.
weekend.
Yeah, so mid-October still, what I think of is like prime peak produce season. So what's going on here at the market?
Yeah, you named it. We're still in the pumpkins. We've sold a lot of pumpkins already, but we still have lots of pumpkins, lots of interesting ones, and lots of squash, which I'll talk about in a second. But first off, we're still in the heart of apple season, and I would actually say we're in the peak of apple season right now.
Okay.
Currently, right now, we have the most varieties we've had all year.
Oh, wow.
We're up to 6.
Okay.
And I've been showing the last couple of weeks. I've been showing off a few apples.
Yeah.
Want to show a few here today.
Please.
Last week we just added Cortland.
Oh, Cortland,
and
yes.
I'll hold this out here. This is a beautiful Cortland.
Yeah.
This came directly from the farm, First Leaf Farms in Berwick. Absolutely beautiful Cortlands. They're nice size, and the farmer told me that it's just been a great year for Cortlands. So we're happy to have those. Very popular. I mean, we're through Thanksgiving weekend, so the apple pies and everything.
Apple pies, but still.
Absolutely. Lots of season left for apple pies.
Oh, yeah. Well, anytime's a good time for apple pies.
Absolutely. And, carrot apple soup, chicken apple soup, all kinds of soups, sauces.
Apple crisp. I love a good apple crisp in the fall. Yeah.
And the Cortland is perfect for that. Seems to be most everyone's favorite cooking apple.
Oh, good.
And, again, we're very happy with how they turned out this year.
Okay.
And the other one I have here, we've talked about this before. This is a Honeycrisp.
Oh, my.
But
it was Honeycrisp.
Yeah, so just wanted to mention the Honeycrisp that we talked about a few weeks ago was the Premier Honeycrisp. Okay. So it's a variety that's just, it ripens a little bit earlier than the regular Honeycrisp. Same apple, just different tree. But we just got this also from the farm last week, freshly picked last week. So fresh batch of Honeycrisp. And you can see also really nice size. If you haven't entered into the Honeycrisp world, it's a must try. It's really the only apple we eat at our house since Ginger Gold is one of our new favorites this year.
Yeah, mine too.
But Honeycrisp is a staple. It's sweet, it's crunchy, it really has everything you're looking for in an apple. Yeah. And they're big, so if you're looking for a good meal.
Big. Like I find with these and the Ginger Gold, like I bought some after we talked about them last time and took them home, and like that was my whole afternoon snack, was a Ginger Gold apple.
Absolutely.
And same with the Honeycrisp. They're such a good size that it's perfect for a snack. Or if you've got little kids, you can really cut one up and let all the kids munch on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. One apple can go a long ways in the family, for sure.
Yeah. So lots of good fresh apples still here and still at peak season.
Yep. And all the ones we've talked about up until now, we still have them all.
Perfect.
There's a couple, the Silken and the Ginger Gold will be out pretty soon. So if you're looking for those, we'd encourage you to come in, but we do have lots of all the others.
Okay, great.
So, and also just want to show everyone, we still have 3 varieties of pears this week. This is a Grand Champion. We have a Bartlett and a Clap. Okay. But if you're into pears, super nice fall treat, and they're very tasty this year as well.
Yeah.
And they're in really good shape. You can see this one hardly has a blemish at all.
Perfect.
Sometimes pears can be a little hit or miss, but our pears have been absolutely excellent.
Great, good.
And I mentioned we have lots of squash, and I wanted to show everybody today.
What is this?
So this is, we're calling it a Japanese squash because it's a little hard to pronounce, and I might get it wrong, but it's a Tetsukabudo squash.
That would sound close, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say yes, that sounds right.
So we're calling it a Japanese squash. That's what most people know it as.
Yes.
And a couple things about it. It's actually a cross between a buttercup and a butternut.
Really?
So very interesting. If you're growing it, you have to grow it with either a buttercup or a butternut for it to pollinate.
Okay.
So this one came from the Annapolis Valley, but we have a good stock of these. And the interesting thing about these, they have a very hard shell, so they keep really, really well. And they actually recommend that you age it for at least a few months. Peak flavor is apparently around 4 or 5 months after harvest, so still got a few months. But this will last you the entire winter. So if you want to keep squash through the winter, this is the one for you. And I haven't had it myself yet, but everyone that I've talked to and everything that I've read describe it as very similar to a buttercup or a butternut. So it's kind of in between there. But
so we'd be looking to get these and like kind of putting them away for winter then, like
that's right. You can eat them. They're going to be extra dry if you try them right now. But peak flavor is in a few months.
Oh, well, that's
but
great.
They're real the good thing about these, or why you might want to get them is to have them through the winter.
That's
so you
perfect.
can have squash in the winter.
Yeah, kind of use up the squash that are in season now, and then kind of put some of these away for January, February when we're
and the buttercup keep pretty well, but by Christmas time, buttercups are usually getting pretty not so good. And butternuts, maybe you can keep them for an extra month, but it's hard to keep butternut into the spring. So this is one, and you can see it's very good size. It's a few pounds for sure, but we have lots of these, and we're hoping to get the word out and add something else to everyone's repertoire.
I was wondering what those were. Well, I might have to get a couple and tuck them away and try. I love squash.
Yeah, I love absolutely. Squash. Yeah, another way to extend your squash season.
It's perfect. Great. Anything else, Adrien?
For produce, that's we still have
highlights.
Those are the highlights for sure. Just want to mention, we're moving into a point in the season where we're able to do a lot more catering.
Okay.
Through the summer season, where our kitchen is in our bakery and everything is max capacity. But as we move into this time of the year, we've already been doing a little bit of catering the last few weeks for lunches and events. So soups, sandwiches, sweets, donuts. Our donuts have been going really well. So we can do trays of donuts. But if anyone's looking for small events, big events, we can do it all.
Okay, perfect. I know this time of year, I feel like a lot of events start coming back. September, October, November. Those are like peak events and conferences and meetings. Everything just kind of hits the road after Labor Day weekend. So that's a great idea if you're looking for a caterer. There's a few around, but it's not that many, and it's always great to know there's other options. And you guys make such delicious food in the Market Kitchen. Your sandwiches alone are, and those donuts. I'm trying not to think about those, but.
Yeah, and there's been a few places I've brought soups into in the last couple weeks, and
that's perfect.
The aroma when you bring the soup in, and have the sandwiches all plated. It makes a nice. Yeah,
what a perfect lunch for a meeting or an event, or that's a great idea. So just call the Market here if you're looking for more information on catering. And your hours are still 9 to 6 every day?
We're still 9 to 6 for the month of October.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Adrien, and we'll be chatting again soon.
Thank you.
So I'm back with my friend Elspeth. How are you today, Elspeth?
Good.
Good.
Yes, fall is here.
Fall is here, and now we're through Thanksgiving, and it's still been, the last couple mornings have been a little bit cool, but we've had some warm weather the last few weeks, but I think now we've talked about planning for planting bulbs, but now we're soon ready to think about the actual planting bulbs and garlic. So what should we be thinking about?
Well, first of all, you have to clean up your garden and make room. And I've been working away at that, but we have had at my house, and I don't think anywhere in this area, we've had any frost.
No.
And I've been spending some time in Pictou County, and they haven't had frost up there, and they usually get frost before us.
Okay.
So my flowers, I'm going to brag.
You've
seen them.
I've seen them. They're amazing.
I'm still enjoying them, and much to Adrien's chagrin, I haven't had many mums around my house. I've only had one. Normally I put 5 or 6 in, but I didn't need them this year because we had my flowers were beautiful. Everything looked good. So I'm still enjoying them. Yeah. But I have cleaned out because the wind did knock down my zinnias and some of my cosmos. So I've taken them out, and I've made room for put some bulbs in. So now is the time. Okay. This morning it does feel, and we want the night temperatures to be cooler. So all our chattering through September was about get your bulbs, put them away. Yes. Now's the time you can start thinking about where you're going to put them. Okay. And we talked a little bit about that, about planning, because if you want color next spring, you need to plant now. Yeah. And you also need to think about what are the growing conditions where you're going to put them. Yes. So if they're under a tree that's not going to leaf out till late May, you may be able to put bulbs in there because there'll be enough light. Yeah. Today I want to just give the tips about how deep to plant them. Okay. And I know that this is, and I ran into it because I was gardening here in the front garden at the market, and there were a lot of bulbs that I was digging up as I was putting mums in and pulling plants out. So I was removing bulbs. If you do that, then just dig a hole and stick them back in.
Just put them right back in. Pretend that never happened.
Right. Or if you want to move bulbs from one area in your garden that you thought, oh, I don't really like them there, or I have another hole, now's a good time to dig them up. Okay. So you can just dig them up, lift them, put them in, and plant. Okay. So the thing that often happens is people don't plant them deep enough. Oh, okay. And then they'll come in the spring and they'll go, how did those get on top of the ground? So what happens is the frost will heave them out of the ground if they're not planted deep enough. Okay. So with a daffodil, like that's a daffodil, a narcissus, it's about a 2-inch bulb. So we say, my recommendation is 3 times the height of the bulb.
Oh.
So if it's 2 inches,
yeah.
you want to put it down 6 inches.
6 inches, wow.
Which is really deep.
That is deep.
Way deeper than most people think about planting.
Okay.
And this would be the bottom end, the little root end. That's going to go down. They're going to sit up. You can plant them next to each other in a nice little clump. And I think that's better than single ones planted in rows because they look like little soldiers.
Yes.
You know, and that's not very interesting. It's more interesting for the eye, and you'll get a better impact if you plant them in a clump.
Okay.
So if you put them in, you know, like an inch apart, dig a hole, put them in about an inch apart, and 6 inches deep. Now with the tulip bulb, they're about an inch, a little better than an inch. So you're going to look to 3 to 4 inches deep. Okay. And the little tiny crocuses, you just need to go down maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
So it's just really based on the size of your bulb, that's going to determine.
Yeah. So the rule of thumb is 3 times the height of the bulb. Okay. Okay, so if people can remember that. The other thing that you should put in is a little bit of nutrition in the hole when you plant. So we have a bulb fertilizer, and it's high in phosphorus, which is what's going to help in the root development and feed the plant. And phosphorus is not going to be washed away easily, and it's going to be easily, it takes a while for the plant to absorb it. So it'll be there for the plant in the spring as well. Okay. So it's a good thing to feed. So that's another thing that you should have, fertilizer and your bulbs, and go at it.
So what if this is a new area, Elspeth? Like I bought some bulbs here. I'm ready. I'm following along this year. And I watched last spring to see what trees I wanted to put them on before the leaves came out. But this is like, there's nothing there now. So I'm going to dig, like, should I be putting some kind of soil there with it, or?
So that probably, yes, because we know that the soils here aren't great. Yeah. So compost added would be okay. Okay. And you need something so you have good drainage. Yeah. So I usually say 50% compost, 50% topsoil. Okay. So if you're adding soil, do a 50-50 split. And then you should have, and then just mix that in. If you mix that in a wheelbarrow and then add it to the soil that's there, you'll have a good base to plant it.
And then the bulb food, I'm sprinkling that on and mixing that in? Or?
No, that's a good point. You're going to put it right in the hole.
Oh, right in the hole?
Yeah, put it down. Put the bulbs in on top of it. Okay. I didn't say that.
Okay, well, good thing I'm asking all the questions I want answers to.
You're asking the right questions. Yes, I missed that.
It's on my weekend to-do list, so I'm like, okay, let's get it all down.
But that leads me to the next point. In the spring, which we'll talk about, next spring, but in the spring you would top dress with bulbs that you already have in the ground. Right. So you'd use a fertilizer, like a perennial fertilizer. Once they're up and starting to grow, then you want to drive that growth a little bit. So you want to give them a little bit more of nitrogen. Okay, so, makes sense.
Okay. Well, I think we're all set then, Elspeth.
And we still have some garlic. Not a lot of garlic left, but garlic. So now's a good time for garlic and for the fall bulbs. Okay. Anytime this month.
Yep. And just one last thing, because I know I've heard some people saying it's still been a bit warm to plant the bulbs. Like, do you think looking at the forecast, like,
this morning I didn't really look ahead, but my guide is always nighttime temperatures of 8 and 9 degrees, 7 to 9 degrees.
Okay. I think we're
so
close
we're
then.
Getting close, but it may be another week.
Okay.
I didn't really look too much this week.
But quite an October.
It is quite an October.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Elspeth.
Good.